Toyota Camry is a car that has probably had the single largest impact on the global economy, probably even more than the Ford F-Series of trucks. If you don't know, the F-Series is F-150, F-250, F-550. They go all the way from, your dad's car to the gigantic illuminating company truck that comes and fixes the power lines. The point is that the Camry is driven by a lot of people. Why? Well, because it's what I like to call a catch-all car. It catches a lot of buyers in its midst, and it is the best catch-all car on the planet. Single mother who wants a car for some stability in her growing family, boom, Camry can catch it. Teen girl that's going off to college, she just wants a used good car and the parents are in charge of picking it, boom, Camry catches that. The Camry is so vast, so wide, so perfectly positioned to meet everyone's needs well enough that they would actually want to buy it, that it is just the greatest example of a catch-all car on the planet. But the issue with catch-all cars is that, sure, they catch a lot of people, but some of those people would actually be better off with other cars other than the Camry, which could suit their needs better. So today, if you're considering buying a Camry, or buying a Camry from someone you know, or just want to learn about, some Camry alternatives, watch this video. Let me give you a tale of three Camrys. It's like a tale of two cities, except, well, there's three of them and they're Camrys. See what I did there? Great, because I don't. The blue 2012 wonderful powder blue Camry was bought by a single mother who wants some stability for her growing family. The tan 2010 Toyota Camry was bought by a dad with two, roughhousing dogs and a teenage son. And the mauve 2002 Toyota Camry was lent down to a teenage girl from her father or whatever that she's going to take to college with her. These are three Camrys that are being used well and can fit their owner's needs well enough. Meanwhile, there are cars that would better fit those specific people in these specific circumstances. So this is an example of how cars can kind of mismatch with the people. For example, the guy who has the rough dogs and probably who lives in, a Midwestern state should probably have all-wheel drive, should probably have a V6, needs a little bit more power. The teenage girl doesn't really need that large Camry. It's kind of old, and for the money she spent on that, she could have get something smaller, used like a Corolla. And the mother needs more space for her children, more space for sleepovers, and just more space, period. And she could get a car with more space that costs the exact same amount for her growing family. So without further ado, let's get into the first Camry alternative. The Camry is good at a lot of things, and one of those is being an almost luxury sedan. Having dual zone climate control, or just, nice automatic thermostat-style climate control. Just a good old sedan. But arguably, the 2017 Toyota Avalon does it even better. Starting off, the interior is more modern. It is a nice, modern interior. I mean, you got, the latest, a semi-nice version of Toyota's infotainment operating system. I think it's Toyota, what's it called? Safety? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's the middle version, which is pretty good for its time. It's got a completely digital with a color LCD screen climate control and heated seats and all that jazz. And, touch capacitive buttons, which makes it feel nice and fancy. It's bigger. It's got lots of storage in the butt. The wheels look nice. It came with a V6 or hybrid. And I just think it does the entire sedan thing better than the Camry. Why? Well, first of all, again, more room. If you want a sedan, one of the reasons why you may want a sedan is because, people like sitting inside them. This is longer. There's more room for people to sit inside. You also like a nice, powerful sedan, you know what I mean? And this has got a V6 or a hybrid option. So it can be economical, or it can be, slightly fast, pretty interesting car. Also, this is like the peak version of Toyota, like the best version, like Toyota at its peak with styling from the modern era. So this car doesn't look ancient. It still looks relatively, I would say, extremely modern. Like, this looks brand new. In terms of styling, Toyota is kind of getting out of this style a little bit, but this is still like 2024, very recent styling for Toyota. So this car does not look dated at all. Meanwhile, the actual mechanics are dated, and you want that. This is the good old-fashioned 2015 Toyota reliability. The 400,000-mile Camry internals in this car. The Toyota hybrid Synergy drive system, which has proven itself over the past decade to be one of the most reliable drivetrains ever made, because, again, if you watch the entire Technology Connections video on it and how it's simpler than everything, you will be amazed. But essentially, you get excellent internals with stylish, fancy externals and just an overall nicer interior. So if you're thinking about getting a Camry because you want a nice sedan, well, here's a sedan that's nicer, that still gets better miles per gallon, or that's faster depending on, how you want it, that's more stylish, that can hold more golf clubs and hold more people more comfortably. So again, great alternative. Moving on. Alright, this is an example of a pretty niche one that not a lot of people know about that is genuinely, as humans we chase perfection, and I think this is about as close to the perfect Camry as you can get. If you don't know, this is the Toyota Venza, and this is actually based off a Camry. But what makes it better than a Camry? Well, first of all, it's got a more luxurious interior than the Camry. This is based off of the 6th generation Toyota Camry, but the interior is nicer and updated than the regular 6th generation Toyota Camry. It's a wagon, so it's longer, so you have more room in the back, and you have an excellent, look it up, a astounding amount of storage in the back, way better than the Camry, and the best part is it's vertical storage. So let's say you have a rototiller or something that you need to take into the small engine repair place, we'll just fold down the second row of seats, and you have the biggest, you could probably fit 2 in there. It's a gigantic car with a gigantic amount of room, and the best part is the powertrain. Either you can get a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive, essentially your average Camry, or you could splurge and get a V6 all-wheel drive. Doesn't that sound great? This should be the example for the dad who has the dogs. He probably wants something more comfortable, he probably wants something to ride around in, but this is probably what he really needs. It's got all-wheel drive, it's got a V6, it's still as comfortable as the Camry, there's room for those dogs, and there's room for, he doesn't have to treat his Camry like a truck. He can have a car that can actually withstand all of that, but still be comfortable at the end of the day to drive home. Venza, one of the best Camry alternatives on the market. Moving on. I've had a lot of hear me outs on this channel, and I don't mean in relation to dating, I mean in cars. I'm like, hear me out, this is why it's a good idea, don't question my methods. This is not one of them. The explanation for why you should investigate a Lexus ES when you're planning on buying a used Camry is, well, simply, first of all, they're luxury cars, which means they've been bought, and likely the person who bought them has lots of money. And when they have lots of money, that probably means they're pretty well maintained. Now, this isn't a big, gigantic rule that happens all the time. I'm just saying, I've seen many more well-maintained Lexus ESs than I've seen well-maintained Toyota Camrys. So keep that in mind. Another reason is, it's a nicer Toyota Camry for the same price. That's it. Can you follow the logic? First of all, it's based on a Toyota Camry. Second of all, it has a V6. Better powertrain, more reliable. Third reason, leather seats, navigation, bunch of nice stuff, dual zone climate control, just a bunch of stuff that the regular Camry didn't have, even on the highest trim level. And technically it had those on the highest trim level, but you know what I'm getting at here. And the build quality, there's stuff that you don't even notice. It's got soundproofing in the doors, it's got a nicer, higher quality of carpet, it's got padding on the lower levels of the doors, it's got so much stuff, like the push-button ignition, that the regular Camry doesn't have that you wouldn't notice until you've driven both the regular Camry and the Lexus ES. And the best part is, now with depreciation, they both cost the same amount. I could go out and buy a 2010 Toyota Camry for $5,000, and in the same time buy, probably with lower miles, a 2010 Lexus ES for the same price. That is just how depreciation works. So if you're looking to buy in a Toyota Camry, why not get something nicer with a better powertrain, with more details, more attention to detail, and some nice wood for the exact same price? Alright, now this is an example of the car that the single mother should choose. Why? Well, there is some compromises here. First of all, worse miles per gallon, but some upsides. First of all, V6 engine, extremely reliable. You can get a V6. Second of all-wheel drive. You want to keep those kids safe. If you're driving in muddy or wet terrain, you are going to want that all-wheel drive. The interior is a little bit more comfortable than a Camry. It's a little bit higher off the ground. But the most important thing is, this is a very efficient vehicle. Unlike the Camry, again, it has large amounts of... Okay, let me explain the difference here and why cars that are vertical are important. The reason is, the Toyota Camry may have a similar amount of surface area of storage as the Toyota RAV4. Now, when does that matter? Groceries and stuff like that. The issue is, the Toyota RAV4 has much higher vertical storage, which means you can stack it up much, much, much higher than the Toyota Camry. So why might that be useful? Well, let's say you're going to Costco and you have a lot of paper towels. You can just stack that on top of another, and then boom, you can actually fit that in the Toyota RAV4 instead of having to have your kid and ask him to, hold it the entire way home. This also has an optional third row. Now, let's just come back to reality for a second. Would any adult want to sit in this back third row? No. But you want to know who would? A child. Let's say she has 2 kids, and one of those kids wants to have a sleepover with his 2 best friends. Well, if you have the Camry, you're screwed. But guess what? If you have the RAV4, they can comfortably sit in the back seat, all converse, and have the entire backs to themselves. And the best part is, you can have all of that without sacrificing miles per gallon in a minivan or something larger with an actual third row. Also, the teenage girl, this would be an excellent option for her going off to college. Why? Well, she's not going to be driving that much at college, and if she does, this thing is small and easy to park, easy to maneuver in the city. The V6 is going to be great for highway miles if she's driving back home, and if she has pets or something, they'll fit in the back, and if she has a lot of friends, she can probably cram them in the third row. It's just an all-around excellent daily driver if you like the Camry, but you just need all-wheel drive and a V6, and you don't want something as large as the Venza. Now, this is probably my favorite Toyota Camry alternative, probably because it's just my personal favorite vehicle on this list, aside from the Venza. This would be the ideal for the single mother, or just, mother, period. Why? Well, for a few specific reasons. First of all, having kids, this has much more storage than the regular Toyota Camry. You know how you have, your glove box? Well, this has another one of those on top of that one. Cup holders galore. It's just got a lot of space, a lot of storage, a place for your bags. It suits a family very, very well. This is also based off of the Toyota Camry, or at least a similar platform, but it's a dedicated hybrid, which is important. This also utilizes the space better. The entire point of the Prius V is versatility, which means even though it runs on the same platform, it uses the space better. What do I mean? Well, it's taller, it's more sloped for aerodynamics, and it, again, I mentioned this in the Prius video, which is how they chose that shape, it fills out more of the body frame, that way you get more area, more headroom in the back, and just overall a more spacious vehicle. It is extremely efficient, it can't tow that much, but you get decent ride height. It's a very decent vehicle, and essentially it's just a Toyota Camry, wagon, but a slightly miniature version. It's not as big as the Venza, but it has just about the same amount of room as the Venza. It just uses the space better, and it's a dedicated hybrid, which means it will be always better than a Toyota Camry hybrid. Now, if you don't know what I'm saying there, this was built from the ground up to be a hybrid. The Toyota Camry was not. It was just retrofitted with a hybrid system, which means this will be slightly more efficient, not in any noticeable way, than the Toyota Camry. Also, hybrid would be a great choice. Why? Specifically for maintenance. Hybrid engines do not get run as long or as hard as regular engines do. In fact, that's why the battery goes so fast, because the battery will go before the engine. So let's say a single mom pays, $10,000 for a 2011 or something, and then pays another $3,000 to get a new battery. Boom! That motor can last for another, 200,000 miles, and it will last her the rest of her life, because the battery is the one that's been taking the abuse, and not the engine, which is one of a gigantic... Buying used cars, buying a used hybrid is one of the best decisions you can make, because the engine is always going to be more expensive to replace than that battery. I got my battery replaced for around $1,500. They did it while I was at work. They just came, opened up the back, I walked out my keys, they took the seats out, took everything out, replaced the battery. $1,500 later, I had a new refurbished battery in that car, and I was back to getting 65 miles per gallon averages. You can do that with these cars, and the best part is, I don't even have to worry about the engine, because think about it, every single time you're accelerating, is the engine taking on that slack? No, the electric motor is. The engine is used less, and so if you don't want to maintain a vehicle, or specifically don't want to replace a lot of gigantic parts in the engine, a hybrid is the way to go. There are two dependents here. If you maintain it well, and if it was maintained well in the past. Now, this is the 2020 Toyota Sienna, and this is an excellent, people need minivans. People try and get by with Camrys, and specifically the CUVs, and all that stupid crap. You need a minivan. And in fact, I think one of the characters that I think this fits the best is a teenage girl. Now, this is a gigantic hear me out. This is a perfect example of a hear me out. Why? First of all, I went to college once. In fact, I'm still in college. Anyway, the point is, here's the point. The point is, it's essentially a living room on wheels. Think about it. Your life changes a lot in your teenage years and in your early 20s. You're going to be moving a lot, you're going to be finding apartments, you're going to be moving to new jobs, and you are going to want a big car that can carry a lot of shit with it. The Toyota Sienna is that. If you're moving and you need a gigantic van to move with, the Toyota Sienna is right there for you. You have a pet and you want to have them in the back seat without destroying everything, and you just want them to have, their little sequestered little place. Get a divider, put them in the back half of the car. You want to have friends, here's what I have done several times. You want to go to places, get the all-wheel drive version, you can go there and you can sleep in your car. You want to, if you want to have fun with your friends, which is what I do, what you can do is get some Taco Bell, park the car, put in a Golden Girls, watch all of season 1 for 4 hours, and sit in the back, sit in the captain's chairs. They recline, turn the heated seats on, turn the air conditioning on, let the car idle, just, set the settings to be in eco mode or whatever, and just sit there and watch TV. I have done that all the time. Sometimes when I get off of my job and I don't want to go home because I'm staying at someone else's house and I just want to relax and seat to myself for a while, I plug in my laptop to the HDMI input, because there's a little screen in the back on mine because I have a limited, and you can just sit back there and play whatever YouTube videos, whatever you want, and just eat your food. And then, because remember the center console is removable, you can just climb straight up to the driver's seat, plop yourself down, and then drive wherever you need to go. It is a portable living room. It can carry your stuff with you, and you will always be the friend with the van. Every family has a van. I'm telling you, every family has a van. Whenever the rototiller needs service, whenever the lawnmower whenever you need to carry your goldfish across the tri-state area, or whenever you need to take Dr. Doofenshmirtz Shrinker Ray over to New York, you are always going to be the one that gets called and say, hey, can I use your van to move, man? And they're going to call you, and it's going to feel great, and you're going to be able to help them. So be the one with the van, get a minivan, and get over yourself. Moving on. The Toyota Corolla. See, here's a mistake a lot of people do. They go out and they buy a used Toyota Camry. Why? I don't know. The Camry is just so prevalent that people think of it as like the only automobile option out there. They say, you want to know what? I'll get like a 2017 Toyota Camry for like something like $28,000 or something. I'll get the XLE or whatever, or just the base model, and I'll just drive that thing till the wheels fall off. Well, first of all, why not get a Corolla? First of all, the Corolla's bigger now. The Corolla can suit your needs better than any other car out there. You do not need a bigger car. Go out to, your local Toyota, Kunkelman Chevrolet. That's a regular car reviews reference. Go over to Kunkelman Toyota, Chevrolet, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and go buy yourself a brand new 2026 Toyota Corolla LE Hybrid. Or, remember, $20,000, you could buy, technically it's $31,000, a brand new Toyota Corolla XLE Hybrid all-wheel drive. Doesn't that sound great? It's got everything you need. It's hybrid. Does that come in all-wheel drive? I know it does come in all-wheel drive and hybrid. I forgot which trim level it is. I think the XLE only comes in front-wheel drive. I think it only comes in all-wheel drive. That's what I think it is. All-wheel drive and hybrid for like $31,000 out the door. That is immaculate. You don't need anything more. And also, if you just want a car that you don't have to worry about, get a new car. And plus, the perks are excellent with the new Corolla. You get the starting from your phone feature for a year without having to pay for it. You get free dealership maintenance for like a year, free oil changes, the car wash. You get so much for buying new that you just do not get when you buy used. Point is, the Corolla does everything you need it to. It's brand new and there's perks, so why not get yourself one? Well, we finished. I hope you like my, Camry alternatives video. I just felt it was necessary since so many people get the Camry when they really don't need a Camry and they really need something else. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And also, this video took forever to make because Filmora is a great company that makes excellent software and does not have issues at all. And I definitely did not pay $90 to upgrade my Filmora from 13 to 15 just because they literally would not let me download the old version and I didn't pay for the new version. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all real soon.